Thank you so much for keeping us company. In studio, we have Shar. He is a 15-year-old. And you know what? He is a 15-year-old and he plays a sport. When I spoke to a friend about this, my first question was, is is there a sport for that, or we just do it for fun, right? And what am I talking about? It's actually Rubik's Cube. So it's speed cubing, what I'm looking at right now. It's a competitive sport involving solving Rubik's Cubes and other puzzles as quickly as possible. Sushar, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Okay, so how did this interest begin?
So basically, about 5 years ago,
Yeah.
my mom had, about before that, my mom had brought a cube home, and about 5 years ago, my older brother was trying to learn how to solve it,
Yeah.
and he failed miserably. So then, I took it upon myself to try prove that I'm better than him, and I learnt how to solve it myself.
Yeah.
And then slowly by slowly, I just kept solving it faster and faster, and it became a bit of an addiction. And then until I started like learning about events, competitions, and I just kept on wanting to break my records.
Okay. Before we go to events and competition, you say that your older brother tried and he failed miserably, but you tried and it worked. How long would it take somebody? Because I still can't do that. How does it work? So you have to ensure that it's similar colors on the cube?
Yeah, basically. So you start by making like a layer on the cube,
Yeah.
and then you move up and make the second layer and the third layer. And that's how it basically solves. And basically you just memorize like a string of patterns, and then it's becomes solved. Then it becomes solved like using those patterns and a few algorithms you need to remember.
Is it a mind game?
It it might be depending on how you interpret it, but
Yeah.
I think it's more about just memorization and just recognition of the cube.
Okay. Yeah, because we just had an experience of him just trying to you want him to do it again? Yeah. What's the fastest because you have different types of cubes. Could you break down what the different types of cubes are for, and when it comes to solving it, how fast have you ever solved a Rubik's Cube puzzle?
So we have different types of cubes. We have like the standard 3x3, so it's 3 dimensions, 3 layers, and then you can get bigger. You can get a 5x5, which is 5 different layers, and then the biggest official event is the 7x7, which is 7 layers, and then there's other events. So this one is the most unique one in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a octagon shape, I think.
Yeah.
And it's like a Rubik's cube times 10. And for me personally, for the 3x3, my fastest time right now is an 8.65 second solve at home,
Oh.
and in a competition I have a 9.2 second solve recorded.
Oh wow. Wow.
Which one do you use the smallest seconds? This one or which one?
This one.
Oh wait, okay, so that's a 3x3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've said 3x3, 5x5, 7x7. How long did it take you to get to even moving from 3x3 and mastering that, and then moving to 5x5 and then 7x7?
So it took me like about 4 months into my journey of cubing, I discovered that there were other different types of cubes. So I decided to branch off and learn how to solve them.
Yeah.
And I realized that once you know how to solve a 3x3, the other cubes just become a bit like easier to learn. So
Yeah.
then, yeah, so I can focus on both things at the same time.
Were you doing it for fun, or did you ever feel like it would turn into something that would lead you to getting into different competitions?
I was doing it for fun, but
Yeah.
obviously I had the idea of wanting it to become into competitions, because back then COVID happened, so there were no competitions. So
Yeah.
I wanted it to become into competitions, but back then I was doing it for fun.
Okay.
I had an idea that it would turn into competitions. later
Yeah.
on.
Rupal. So in studio we also have Sushar's mum, and that is Rupal. Rupal, good morning.
Good morning.
When as a parent, we buy these things, and you're hoping you're just gonna have them in the house for kids to pass time.
Yeah.
Did you ever think it would turn into a whole sport?
I think when Sur, he was quite young when, he kind of stumbled upon the cube.
Yeah.
Like he said, his brother gave it to him, and he attempted it, and actually it took him about a week to solve it, which at the time for us, at that age was quite shocking because he was young. He had never attempted a cube,
Yeah.
and then there he comes showing us, look, I've solved it. So that was a bit of a revelation. And from that, we obviously supported him. He would be cubing for hours, practicing. So we saw that in him, and we saw that actually he's really into this. He's really into the whole puzzle
Yeah.
idea of solving, that strategy, discipline. So from that, the support we could give, obviously we didn't have much of an idea about cubes and cubing.
Yeah.
But he pretty much self-taught himself by watching YouTube, following other cubers.
Yeah.
And, he would tell us, okay, Mom, Dad, there's this new cube. It's got a better mechanism. So if possible, can we get that? And that will make my speed better.
Yeah.
So during that time, we didn't know that it was actually something competitive. We just thought it's a hobby. People cube, and it's
Yeah.
like a de-stressor, things like that. But eventually, we obviously found out that actually this is quite serious.
Yes.
There are cubers out there, and it is a competitive sport, should we say?
Yeah.
Myself, I class it with sort of chess, things like that, because it does involve your mind. It does involve a lot of concentration. And for Sur, what it's given him is a lot of focus, discipline, even strategy. So we've found that, those are the kind of things, it's kind of built his character in that way.
Yeah.
So, so from that, we learned that there are many, many other cubes. He would tell us that actually there's this new cube coming out.
Yeah.
And, you'll be surprised, there's waiting lists for some cubes because they get sold out as soon as they're out. So it can be expensive at times because different cubes are different prices. Doesn't mean that, the most expensive is the best one. But in terms of how, we support him where we can, we expose him to different competitions, whether they're just local or international.
So let's start with the first competition you exposed him to. Now, when you realize, okay, this is more than just it's more than him doing it for fun. So you feel like now we need to get him involved in a competition. Yeah. Talk to me about that moment.
So we used to live in the UK.
Yeah.
And then at the time when he actually got into cubing, COVID kind of happened, so nothing was going on. But when we moved back to Kenya in 2020, that's when we actually found out that, there are competitions happening. There's a group in Kenya called Cubing Kenya.
Yeah.
So if there's any budding cubers, they can join that group on Facebook.
Yeah.
And they advertise some local competitions where cubers come in. So the first competition he went to was in Nairobi at the Gigiri Courtyard, which was organized by Cubing Kenya. And that was his first ever competition, and he actually won a few awards there.
How was that competition for you?
For me,
Your very first competition.
that competition was probably one of my favorites, but at the time it was also quite scary to go to the competition. But once I got there, the community felt like felt really nice. So all my nerves just went away, and yeah, it was one of my favorite competitions because I was able to win 2x2 event and then come second on the 4x4 event, which really shocked me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, as a competition, that was really nice for me.
When you say 2x2 event and 4x4, a lot of us are very new to this as a sport. What does that mean?
So a 4x4 is like a 5x5 cube, but scaled down by one layer. So there's 4 different layers on each axis of the cube, and a 2x2 is, well, it's scaled down from a 3x3. So there's 2 layers on each axis of the cube.
So for those instances, you were number 1.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So if you see a cube, like you've got that, that's a 3x3, 3,
Yeah.
3. Then there's one which is smaller, but it's got 2 and 2.
Yeah.
It looks easy, but when I try it, it goes over my head. I can't do it.
Have you ever learned anything? Like, would you?
I have tried, but I just can't get it, and I just can't understand it. But I think it takes a certain kind of person to be able to get it. That's what I feel anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, me and you.
We form a team.
Sur, I've seen in your bio that you've won. This is 3x3.
Yeah.
You've managed to. I don't know. Is it creating or cubing with one hand? Solving with one hand. So, can you solve it this one with one hand right now?
Yeah.
How many seconds?
Okay, so what's happening right now is that he's trying to solve.
With one hand. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to go to our website www.swahilipotsfm.co.ke to be able to see what's happening in studio right now. I don't know how to do it. I don't need to say it. That's magical.
Na hiyo ni ushirikina.
No.
Nimejaribu na mikono miwili.
Did it work?
Already iko sawa. Nimejaribu.
Oh, wow.
Miriam, nimejaribu na mikono miwili
And
for the past 20 minutes.
Yes.
Nimekata.
Yeah.
Solve na one hand.
Yes. Is this something, because you see now, it's a matter of interest, and then it's a lot of concentration.
Yes.
How would you describe Sur as a child growing up?
That's interesting because I think Sur has been, with my 2 boys, they're very chalk and cheese, but Sur has been very different since a young age, and we've noticed that when he comes across any toy that he likes, he would spend hours. And I used to be quite amazed at how a little boy the age of 2 or 3 could spend hours. So it started with he was obsessed with trains, and he had this set of wooden trains. And he would literally I would leave him for a couple of hours. He would be very happy, and he would just play with that one toy. Doesn't need anything else. And that went on, as he grew, he found different other toys that he really liked. And same way, that addiction would just stay, and he would be able to focus, concentrate. And I think that that trait helps him even with his education. He's very strategic, very focused. He knows if he wants something, he will aim and he will get it. He will do it. He is, unlike me.
So talk to me now about after the competitions in Kenya. Now you went to South Africa.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
So that was one of my first it was my first competition outside of Kenya, and I'd been sent alone, and it was like the feeling was like going to my first competition again, but the feeling was scaled up because it was a big competition. There was almost 200 cubers over there, and it was massive. They were the best in Africa over there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I got there and I started cubing, and I realized the community is amazing.
Yeah.
African community is for cubing is amazing, and it's going to keep growing. And yeah, so part of that competition, I had gone there and I had broken some records for Kenya, mainly on the 5x5, 4x4, 6x6, and 7x7 Rubik's cubes. And yeah, that was the first competition where I'd broken any records, so that was extremely nice for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that competition I wasn't able to win anything or place that highly, but just overall that was a really good competition.
Yeah.
With the community, and I enjoyed it a lot.
He broke the Kenyan national records whilst at the competition.
Yes, and for being in South Africa and being among other Cubas, what kind of exposure did that give you?
It kind of gave me exposure to cubing outside of Kenya. It exposed me to how good everyone was and levels I'd need to reach to get to where I want to be in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Now that I've seen Salim here struggling, would you say that for one to start, would it be advisable to do it alone, or at least with some people? You are calling them community. It's a community. So is it advisable that one joins the community before he starts doing it, or you should actually try by themselves first?
I'd say that you should try it by yourself, but not entirely by yourself. You should at least go online and learn, because if you were to just solely try to solve the cube alone, you're gonna fail. And even I did. I had to go look up a tutorial on YouTube. So, but once you've learnt it, I think the best thing to do is go to the community, and it will just make you want to keep solving and encourage you.
Yeah. Now I'm now interested in going to. Now you say it's online YouTube, that is.
Yeah.
Now for your case, because I believe you have some people in your neighborhood. Are you trying in some way to convince them to join the community, or rather be in this game, kind of?
I am looking for a few people who know how to solve the cube. Obviously, it's hard because not everybody wants to do it, but I have found a few people who, and I'm trying to bring the community in Kenya in Mombasa specifically, to become bigger and better, so we can have a nice community here, and competitions can be big, and yeah, it's just more enjoyable.
Okay. And when you talk about Mombasa, you organized something in Mombasa, Kenya's first cubing competition in Mombasa. How was that, and how was it just trying to involve the community and help them understand that this is actually a sport?
So that competition in Mombasa was a really good competition. It was, while the turnout for it wasn't that high, it's still, we attracted like quite a few cubers from Mombasa who at first didn't know that these communities even existed.
Yeah.
And that's what matters the most. If we can get like a few people to come at a time, then we can make the community bigger. And as an experience, that competition was one of the it was the first competition in Mombasa, and I think the people really enjoyed it, and everyone from Mombasa who came for that competition would want to come again, hopefully.
Yeah. And Rupal, you're working with your son in all this, and for other parents, and even as a parent, what does it mean to work with your son and guide him through and notice a skill and develop that skill?
Obviously, it's a proud moment to see that actually we've been able to, or he's been able to find something that that he can fall back. It's almost like for Sur, it's a bit of a stress relief as well. So he would cube in between studying. It would be something that he really enjoys doing. So to discover that, it's actually really important. So what I would say is, to other parents, yes, expose your children to different things, and hopefully you'll find that one thing that they actually absolutely enjoy doing. Whether it doesn't have to be competitive, it's just something that they enjoy, whether it's art or, I don't know, horse riding or playing an instrument, something other than what they're doing in school. So I think that's really important, especially with our lives now. You always need that something that you can fall back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's still in school, right?
Yes.
So how is he balancing school and this?
I think, like I said,
How are you balancing school?
It's
Yeah.
it's a lot of work. To be honest, it's not as hard to balance this and school. For cubing, it only really takes me like just half an hour a day of practice to maintain and get a little bit better. And school right now, well, it's a lot of work, but I think I'm currently right now able to balance it with this cubing.
So you also have you want to break, or rather, let me get it. Your goal is to break the Kenya national record in the 3x3 cube.
Yeah, that is my goal.
What would that look like?
So that would be like, I'd have to get an average solve under 10 seconds in my next competition. And right now, I'm only 2 second average away from that. So I'm hoping by the time I go for my next competition, I'll be able to break that. That's probably the biggest goal I want right now.
Yeah. And also, you're supposed to represent Kenya in the United States. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
How did that come about, first of all?
So, back in December, I think it was a Kenyan Nationals competition. Well, I'd won that 3x3, and the solve I got, the average, was under 13 seconds. And that led me to qualify for the World Cubing Championships in Seattle.
Yeah.
So that's how that came about.
And when is this happening?
It's happening on July 3rd to 6th. Yeah.
Okay. So when these competitions come in, do they interfere with school? Does he have to break? Is there an understanding with the institution?
Yeah, so thankfully, school is very supportive. We've got a very supportive school, and actually we're taking him to Seattle for this event, which is also, it falls during his school exams.
Okay.
So we spoke to school, and they understand that no, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So yes, he can miss his exams and do them once he comes back.
Yeah.
So in that way, yes, sometimes it can be disruptive, but generally the Kenyan competitions are on weekends or during half-term breaks, things like that. So they normally are okay, but it's these ones where he has to travel. So even the South African one, he missed a few days of school because obviously all countries have their holidays at different times.
Yes.
So in July he's going to miss his exams.
Very, very. I'm. If we look at, I'm going to speak as an African parent. If you're going to miss your exams, then usually it's an absolute no. Right? So I'm seeing a level of compromise and understanding and saying this is a skill, this is a talent that you want to nurture. Yeah. As a parent, again, how understanding, or even just you realizing that, it's exam, but then also this is a skill that I want to nurture.
I think as a mom, it's always worrying a child missing their exams, yes. But and culturally that's how we've been brought up. Yeah. However, I think something we've all learned from, especially from COVID, and the time is of essence. And doing what you love is very, very important. And this is something he loves. Yeah. And I think exams will come every year. They're not his board exams, so they're okay. But exams come every year. He can, with the support of school, he'll be able to complete his exams, the ones he's missing, later. But if there's something that they really love, you just need to really think about it. The opportunity cost. Yeah, in life there's that opportunity cost.
Yeah.
And it's something we really want him to experience. It's not about winning.
Yeah.
It's about actually going there, networking, meeting like-minded people, because there's going to be people of all ages. It's cubing is not age-related. It's based on your skill and timing.
I like that.
Yeah. My question to Sur now, what's like the preparation for this? This is not like the South African one.
Yeah.
This is World Championship. What are the preparation like? If you leave alone the 30 minutes time that you spare yourself for the practice.
So during that 30 minutes time, about 10 minutes of it is just target practice, focusing on a specific type of area that I can fix in my solves, and then the other 20 minutes is just pure practice on pure timed solves on a specific puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And then I focus on one puzzle each day, and in the US I'm going to be doing a total of 6 events, and so I'm rotating those 6 events so I can do each event, so I can do like 6 different practice sessions a week.
Okay. All right.
What did you want to be? Like, actually, what do you want to be when you grow up?
That is a question that I'm yet to answer.
Yeah?
I'm really not too sure right now.
You don't, yeah?
So does it mean that you're not doing, or rather you're not seeing this as a career going forward?
I could do, but the main problem is I'd have to get like world champion levels, which I want to, but that takes a lot of time and effort, and I don't have a lot of time to do that. So I want to get to that level, but if I do it at my pace, then it might take me quite a while, in which it'd be easier to first find some other work and keep this as a hobby in the future.
Is there any that is there any other thing that interests you apart from Rubik's Cube?
Main thing is just health and fitness. I like going to the gym.
I like that. What?
I know you would like that 100%.
No, no, they're saying that because they do a lot of fitness. So yes, I like that. So, and what else?
Football.
Oh, and football.
Oh, now there we can talk.
Yeah. You know what? I would want to know what happens after the competition. And I think Krupal, you've done a good job as a parent. You are doing a good job as a parent, nurturing his skill, nurturing his talent.
Yeah, it's both me and his dad together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's commendable, right? And even for him to also just concentrate, because it's a mind game. Yeah. Yes, a lot of us cannot solve it. I cannot solve that. Yeah, I'll try later on, but I still can't.
Tried and...
Did you?
I tried.
Okay, so just one last word to a young person who's listening in and who has a skill and they're thinking, should I really pursue this? What would you tell them?
I think you should pursue that skill, and it'd be great for you to. It really opens you up to a whole new world of different kinds of things, and it just improves like a lot of your thinking skills, and
All right. Thank you so much. We've been speaking to Shar and his mom, Rupal. And you know what? It's a Creative Friday. So we get people who are doing impeccable things in our society. We support you all the way. DJ Wine it. Let's go.